Jim Collins, who taught at Stanford, researched and wrote the books Built to Last and Good to Great, described himself as having a great deal of energy and a ferocious work pace. One day, one of his friends and a fellow teacher at Stanford named Rochelle Myers told him, "Your genetic energy level enables your lack of discipline. Instead of leading a disciplined life, you lead a busy life." This was quite a pushback for Jim Collins, and he said he was actually stunned and confused. Rochelle Myers gave him a challenge called the 2010. Imagine you received a phone call tomorrow and you'd inherited $20 million with no strings attached, and you'd also learned that you had 10 more years to live. How would your life change? What would you do with your life? As importantly, what would you stop doing? Jim said this thinking profoundly changed his life, and it helped with his corporate business insights. He saw that some of the biggest decisions were not just about what companies did, but rather what they decided not to do. One example was Darwin Smith, the CEO of Kimberly-Clark. Smith was a survivor of throat cancer, and he said he'd learned from that if you had cancer in your arm, you'd have to have the guts to cut it off. And he asked these three questions about his business. What are we passionate about? Can we be the best at this? And does this drive our economics? His answers were no to all of them. And with that thinking, he made the decision for Kimberly-Clark to sell their paper mills. And so Kimberly-Clark sold 100 years of corporate history and got out of the paper business and focused on their consumer business with brands like Kleenex. These circles and thinking can be applied to each of our lives. And if we get too many no's, we can start thinking about what not to do. Rochelle Myers taught the idea of making your life a creative work of art. And Jim Collins said, a great piece of art is composed not just of what is in the final piece, but equally important, what is not. It is the discipline to discard what does not fit, to cut out what might have already cost days or even years of effort, that distinguishes a truly exceptional artist and marks the ideal piece of work, be it a symphony, a novel, a painting, a company, or most of all, a life.